Hey there guys, so today we have another review and this is a new Stone beer. This is Stone's Pataskala Red X IPA. I'll post a link below and Mitch Steele does a wonderful job explaining this. Basically the amber ale and red IPA has gotten a lot less popular. They use crystal malt, which offers this kind of cloying sweetness. It hides hop flavor, which is really bad if you're looking for something really intensely hoppy. So what they're using in this is German Red X malt, which offers a flavor and ideally for them, not much sweetness. It is an IPA that comes in, a red IPA that comes in 7.3%, brewed with Mosaic, Cascade, and Amarillo. So let's dig into this beer. So the beer comes in. Oh wow, really cool. That's a gorgeous beer. Pretty dark, I want to say, for the red IPA style. It's a crimson ruby kind of color, but I would say it's a deep amber. Yeah, nice deep, rich amber, nice and clear. You're also getting a little bit of like a tan head on that. And then also you notice I have my red Taurus glass. I thought that'd be appropriate for the red IPA. So let's get the aroma on this. Okay, not initially that, fruity as I'd want it especially from Amarillo and Amarillo and Mosaic. Yeah, I'm getting more of that kind of leafy green kind of quality, pininess, earthy kind of qualities. A little bit of spice. And certainly a little bit of this kind of a toffee, biscuity malt kind of thing. Not too sweet, but certainly a nice kind of malt aroma behind this beer. Cheers. Wow. Lovely transitioning on this beer. Wonderful layering of flavors and good transitioning on the palate. Really interesting beer. Yeah, I have to think about this one. Oh, geez. Okay, so initial impression is that there's an underlying kind of earthy, spicy bitterness that hits up front and it lingers. But then it turns on you. And the bitterness on the finish turns into a little bit more earthy and piney. But yeah, up front you get an earthiness and a little bit of pine, but then it turns into like woodiness and then lingers onto a little bit more woodiness, a little bit more, I'd say more earthy and woody on the finish than initial attack. You're also surrounded by this initial attack of malt quality. It's a nice toffee sweetness, caramel sweetness, a little bit of sweetness from biscuity malt, but yeah, more of this kind of like caramel flavor without the intense sweetness that you get in certain red IPAs. Some of them you get this rich kind of cloying sweetness and it sort of sticks to the palate. You have to smack your lips and you have all the sugar all over and it tastes sugary. This one's more the flavor of caramel without and the maltiness and you get also a little bit of that kind of what is it? Yeah, toastiness. So it's like leaning towards like a biscuity malt, a kind of like toasted biscuit, and you really get a good toast on there, and you get a little bit of that richness of that malt flavor from the biscuit / malt. Helps with a little bit of sweetness on the mid palate. The fruitiness, I would say, is pretty restrained. You get a little bit of grapefruit, a little bit of orange zest, but they say stone fruit. I don't know about that. If anything, maybe you get faint hints of the really sweet nectarine, but it's mostly predominated by this kind of earthy, piney quality onto woodiness, and then that kind of really interesting malt flavor. 7.3. Drinks pretty well, Again, liking the beer for not being too sweet. It's a nice kind of balance between that nice malt quality and then that stiff bitterness, a stiff stone bitterness, a familiar stone bitterness. It is full on bitter, lingering on the end of the palate. But it works, I think this beer would pair very well with food. You really get the malt balance and that piney and that bitterness really could cut away some big dishes. I think some IPAs end up being a little fruity and you really don't want a tropical, citrusy IPA for a certain amount of foods. This just is like malt delivery, bitterness, nice malt complexity in this one. It's it's moving around on the malt, and it's a really well done malt-based red IPA. Not that it's too sweet. It's just that's one of the predominant flavors in this beer. Really liking it. Very good stuff, yeah. It really does its job. Again, with the full Stone bitterness, it's not doing that just for the sake of being a full-on bitter beer from Stone. It really does something a little bit different. The red X malt is really, cool. Awesome color. And again, you don't get the sweetness from crystal malt. So I really hope more breweries use this red X malt. I'd love to see it in more red IPAs because I do think that is a style that a lot of people don't like. Definitely destroys the Trogs Nugget Nectar that I recently reviewed. So check this one out. This Stone Pataskala. This for me is getting almost like an herbaceous tea kind of thing going on with that with the hops as well. I guess that's Cascade. 91 on this one. Well done. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Stone putting out some good beers. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Later.